I am coming. My screen is redirecting. I am coming. Hi, everyone. I am Lana Quest, and this is the Quest Show. Despite the weird background and my missing co-host, so Honor is under the weather today. So I am going to be doing this alone. So I don't have anyone to rein me in this evening because she's under the weather. So I am probably going to be all over the place, and then I'm going to be done. Again, forgive the background. I was just too lazy. It's just me, and we're just gonna do some random thoughts and go over some wonderful things that have been happening in the news. Haha, JK, not wonderful things happening in the news at all. But before we get started, I do want to ask anyone out there watching, to please subscribe, give the show the thumbs up, share this video, and all of that good stuff. So let me just get my phone organized, and we're going to go through some news, the week's news. That is what we're going to do. Hold on. Let me get there. I am there. Hi, Artie. I am alone today. How are you doing? Forgive me, I'm going to look down. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look down. So it's me and Artie today. What's going on in the news? Let me put on my glasses. And again, Honor is not here. So we get to like play around and just go off topic. So that's what's going to happen. So first thing, let's talk about Scott Adams. Interesting thing. Great to see you in prime time. Thank you. I know Anna's under the weather today, so she won't be on, as you can see. But let's talk about Scott Adams. I did not know who Scott Adams was. I did know the Dilbert comic strip. I don't recall ever reading that comic strip, but I do recall seeing it in some papers every now and again. So apparently Scott Adams last week went on a little bit of a racist tangent, a little racist rant. And he's been dropped by all of the newspapers like, dude, racist rants have consequences. What you thought? Like, really, what did you think was going to happen? So I was going to say, I didn't know what precipitated his racist rant, but I actually do know why he had that racist rant. He was looking at a poll, and I don't remember what the poll said, something about, I don't know, but he was upset that the Black folks in the poll voted a certain way. So then he just got pissed off. And let's read his quote. He advised white people to get the fuck away from Black people because they're a hate group. Because, that's what it was. They asked in the poll, they asked Black folks if they agreed with the phrase, it's okay to be white. That's what it was. So if you're not familiar with the phrase, it's been said, well, they use the phrase on, what is that, 4chan, the Nazi site, like white, it's a white supremacist phrase, like it's okay to be white. It's almost like white lives matter. You know, you're just saying that in response to people saying Black lives matter. So it's okay to be white has been adopted by all the white nationalists, the Nazis, the white supremacists, all of those people. So that's why he's pissed, because the majority of Black people did not agree with that phrase. So then he went on his little tangent to say, you know, I advise all white people to get the fuck away from Black people, because I guess what he's really trying to say is those Black folks, they ain't grateful for all the things that us white people do for them. Look how they reward us. They say that it's not okay to be white. That's exactly what he is saying in his racist rant. So whatever the case, Scott Adams, Dilbert, I mean, I don't know, peace out. And what we're talking about race is like, and I'm sorry, Artie, because oh yes, the Rasmussen poll. Isn't there something funny about that poll anyway? Like, that's not a legitimate poll, is it? I mean, I could swear I always hear when someone says the Rasmussen poll, people laugh about it because it's not even really a legit poll. And like, did they even poll Black people, to be honest with you? Like, really, did they? No one's ever polled me. What Black people were they even polling? And Scott Adams, what have you done for Black people anyway? Can we ask you that? What have you done? Have you donated to any causes? Are you out here saying like, let Black people vote, stop suppressing their votes? Are you wanting the filibuster to be demolished so we can get Voting Rights Act passed? What are you doing for Black folks? Have you marched? Huh? Did you protest when George Floyd was murdered? Well, what have you done for us for you to be this upset? What is wrong with you? That's really a privileged take, isn't it? Got you, right wing. So I'm to believe that Rasmussen poll, a right wing poll, actually went out and asked Black people this question. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. But let's move on with the racism, because this was like a week from racism. Like, it was just on and popping with the racists this week. Are you kidding me? I don't know about you, Artie, but did you see what was the lawmaker's name? The lawmaker from Tennessee, while they were amending the death penalty, because what's Tennessee without the death penalty, right? Right. So while they were amending the death penalty, talking about lethal injection. There's some states that have the firing squad. Tennessee wants the firing squad. This lawmaker decided to, add to it. He's like, I'd like to add the hanging from the tree. But that's the thing. He actually wanted to add hanging from a tree, also known as lynching, to the death penalty. Again, it's just been one of those weeks. It's like there is no more, oh yeah, they're saying the quiet parts out loud. There aren't any more quiet parts. They're just telling you what they want to do. They're not whispering this stuff anymore. There's not even a bullhorn. They don't even think it's wrong anymore. It is what it is. He literally said, can we add hanging from a tree? He knows what lynching is. He's in Tennessee. He's an old man. He darn sure knows what lynching is. He knows what he said. He tried to back and apologize. No, you know what you say. Then you got Ron DeSantis is out here trying to cancel the Democratic Party. Like, he did that this week. He is making a bill to cancel the Democratic Party because he thinks he's slick and he thinks this is a game and he thinks that this is funny. He's like, oh, so y'all want to be woke? Oh, Democrats, y'all are anti-racist? Oh, you are you? Well, let me tell you, because now he knows the history, right? Now he wants to talk about real history. Oh, Southern Democrats back in the Civil War, y'all fought to keep slavery. So since y'all were fighting to keep slavery, I think we need to cancel the Democratic Party. No, for real. This is what he's saying. This is not a joke. This is actually for real. He's actually introducing a bill to cancel the Democratic Party. Yeah, I just found myself this week being, I don't know, it's just a weird feeling. Like, you laugh about this stuff, but then you're just kind of furious, right? Because I'm furious that my kids have to grow up with this nonsense. Like, this is not the 1960s. Why are we fighting the same fight? I mean, I'm not saying that racism is going to all of a sudden disappear, but I never would have thought in my lifetime that we would have a political party this hell-bent on taking us backwards. Like, they're not even trying to do it incrementally. They're not even trying to, like, move it a little bit. They're like full force. No Black history. No Democratic Party. No, you can't vote. Yes, we want to hang you from trees. Like, they're legitimately doing this stuff. And I sent the video of the man saying that to my kids, and they're like, was he drunk? Like, no, this is an actual lawmaker. Like, I had to tell them this was real. He was very serious in what he was wanting to do. Hi, Michelle. Hey, just talking about that lawmaker from Tennessee who suggested that an added amendment to the death penalty should be hanging from trees. So that is where I am. I am off on a tangent. Honor is not here right now. It is just me. So what else happened this week? I know there was some more racism. Just bear with me. I know I can find it because that's just all it is every day. Oh, see, I'm telling you, it's just been one of those crazy weeks. You can't get away from it. Let's talk about Michael Newman. Michael Newman is or was a white student who got a scholarship to Howard and HBCU, Historical Black College and University. They gave him a scholarship to go to their law school. How does Michael Newman, this white student, pay back the HBCU? By suing them for $2 million. Yes. That's how he pays them back. You see, Michael Newman is suing Howard University because he's saying that the university racially discriminated against him, the white guy. Because, that's the thing right now, right? That's what the Republicans have been telling, all of the fragile white people, all the fragile racists. That's what they're telling them. They're saying, hey, being woke, that means that everyone is discriminating against you, white man. Everyone's trying to take your jobs away from you. They're treating you bad. They want your kids to learn their history. That's discrimination. They're making you feel bad because, Ron DeSantis says, passed a whole bill on white discomfort. It's against the law to make white kids uncomfortable. Right? It's against the law. So now you have white people. Like I literally heard Josh Hawley at a Senate hearing talking to Merrick Garland, talking about anti-Catholic, like anti-Catholic hate. Like, what is that? Like, that's because if people are saying you're anti-Semitic, right? Like, because the crazies are attacking Jewish people right now. The crazies are attacking Asian people. The crazies are attacking the LGBTQ plus community. The crazies are attacking trans. The crazies are attacking Democrats, right? So for them to try to no, that's not what's happening. They're trying to reverse it so that we don't know what's going on. Like, it's all for the clicks and the likes from their base. So now it's like, it's anti-Catholic. Everyone is being anti-Catholic right now. What is that? If y'all know, put it in the chat, because I don't know what the hell anti-Catholic is. That is crazy. But again, like I said, I'm by myself, so I'm way off of topic. Let's go back. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Walter. New bill in Florida, and if a journalist writes about Governor DeSantis, they have to register like a criminal. Yeah, I just heard them talking about that. They were saying, like, is that a blog? That could mean Twitter. Like, you have to get registered to talk about, like, that's some real. Hey, they don't want to feel discomfort, right? Like, if you're going to talk about Florida lawmaker, you have to have a license. What happened to free speech? What happened to free speech, Republicans? Aren't you all for free speech? It's like everything that they say that they're for, they try to stop it from everyone else. It's free speech. My body. I don't have to wear a mask, but I'm going to make you, I'm going to force you to carry a kid because it's not your body. Like, which is it? Which is it? I'm going to get back to Michael Newman. So Michael Newman is the white student who got a scholarship from Howard University Law School. They gave this white student a scholarship to go to their law school. Then he turns around and he sues them for $2 million, citing that Howard University racially discriminated against him while he was in law school. I guess his complaint was like, 70 pages. He was citing that the Black students were calling him Mayo King, which is quite funny. I guess mayonnaise must be a slur if you call a white person mayonnaise. But honestly, Howard University have been dealing with Michael Newman for quite some time, right? Because you have to think, this is not high school. This is not junior high. This is law school. Those kids, number one, Michael Newman is not the first white person to go to Howard University. He is not the first non-Black person to go to an HBCU. So let's get that straight right now. I thought I had some numbers here on who, right. So HBCUs, let's see, 67.9% Black, 6.61% Hispanic and Latino, 3.8 Asian, 1.97 white. So of course it's going to be the majority Black because it is a historical Black college and university, right? But there are other races that go to it. So according to Michael Newman, they discriminated against him. According to the university, he was in jeopardy anyway because his grades were already falling below the level, whereas he could even keep his scholarship. So they were about to pull his scholarship. And not only that, he had been making insensitive and offensive comments in like the group chats with the other Black students. For example, Michael Newman thought it was okay to post a picture of a slave that had gotten beat, so with welts all on the slave's back, and then captioned it, "I want to know what you did for this." You want to know what the person who was enslaved did before he got beaten. So the enslavement was not the problem. The problem was what the person who was being enslaved against his will did to cause himself to get a beat. Like, so he was doing funky things like that. So yeah, pretty sure he deserved it. He had been warned about those insensitive comments. He was trying to minimize slavery. It's almost like he went to the school to trigger people, right? To say insensitive things, to get Black people all upset about things. And again, his grades were on the decline and he was losing his scholarship too. So that's probably why he started to do this, so that he knew he was going to get kicked out of the school. Hey, did you guys see that Alex Murdaugh is going to jail? Cairo's in here. Hi, Cairo. Did you see that Alex Murdaugh is going to jail? What do y'all think about that? Put your comments in the chat. I really thought that the jury was going to find him not guilty only because, you has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Like, there can't be not one iota of doubt, or you have to find him not guilty. But they did not buy his story, and it's interesting because he cried during the trial, fake tears, and he didn't cry not one time when they said guilty. There's no tears, just a nothing, just nothing. And then he just walked away. So yay for them. I heard him yesterday, who Alex Murdaugh, my adopted mother's man from Alabama, would be me from time to time. And once he told me I hadn't done anything. Wow. So anyway, let's see what else happened. Right, Michelle, that's what I'm saying. He had no expression at all. Like all the tears were gone. Before he was just crying. There was snot coming down his nose, but just a nothing. And that jury didn't buy it. I mean, he waited 20 days before telling the truth. He said that he was not at the scene of the crime. And then when he found out that they had his voice on video because his son was doing a Snapchat right before, then he changed the whole story. Like he rewrote everything that he had told the police. He rewrote it and then tried to blame it on drugs. And what was really telling was that, I think it was the housekeeper and the groundskeeper, how he was trying to convince them that he had on different clothes. Like, because he was changing his clothes. Remember, the prosecutor was like, from the time of their deaths and the time that the phones went blank, I forgot how many steps he was taking. Like, I don't know, was it like 230 steps in like 4 minutes or something like that? They're like, what were you doing? And he couldn't remember. They're like, how could you not remember after you found those bodies, all these steps that you were taking? Where were you going? What were you doing? And he could not explain that, but it makes sense. He was probably changing those clothes and getting rid of all of the evidence and making his alibi, which he had already thought up. He knew exactly what he was going to do. So kudos to the jury. Glad he's going to jail. Let's see. So the Supreme Court is hearing, loan forgiveness. It's at the Supreme Court. Biden said, hey, I understand it's a pandemic emergency. I promised you that I would give some loan forgiveness. I would give you some relief, because Joseph Biden has been keeping his promises. Who didn't like it? Apparently 6 states and 2 individuals sued. I don't even know how these states have standing. I don't know how these individuals have standing, but they sued, and it's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. So now the Supreme Court is going to decide on whether loans are forgiven. We know how this is going to end. We saw how Roe ended. What would make anyone think the Supreme Court would rule in favor of this administration? It's not happening. They don't care anymore. You could protest and stand outside of the Supreme Court for as long as you want. You could go on a hunger strike. They do not care. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And it's unfortunate, right? Because Clarence Thomas did not pay off his school loans until he was 40. He's already on the Supreme Court. He's 40. He struggled with his loans. But guess what? He's probably on a court saying right now, if I did it, they could do it too. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. That's what he's saying right now. We do need to expand the court. That's unbelievable. So I don't know. You still say some prayers, hopefully Biden has something in his back pocket that can relieve people, because this was really going to help millions, and you have a few people complaining, what about me? What about me? I paid all mine off. Like, that's just such a ridiculous argument. I don't want to have to pay. I don't want my tax dollars paying for this. Yo, your tax dollars are paying for a million things that we don't get to partake in. Like, for real. So what's the difference? You don't have any kids that have school loans? there aren't people in Republican states that need loan forgiveness? Because if you don't forgive these loans, guess what's going to happen? Millions of people are going to default on the loans. How does that help the economy? There was a guy who I guess didn't take out any loans. I didn't take out any loans. I paid for it out of my pocket and I started my lawn care business. Oh, yeah? So if these people default on their loans or have to pay these loans back and barely are making it, who's going to give your lawn care business? Think about it. People are just really stupid. I don't really understand. Anyway, that's happening right now. I don't think that they're expected to rule on it until the spring. So we have some time. Hey, Lori Lightfoot did not get reelected in Chicago. Chicago folks said, no, thank you, Lori Lightfoot. We don't know. We don't like how you fought with the teachers. So that's a no for us, dog. What else happened this week? What time is it? I'm just moving on along. Let's see. There's a couple of things. Let's talk about the Chips and Science Act. That is just coming into fruition. And remember how Republicans, they were blocking the bills and things where Democrats wanted to put was it the infrastructure bill? Oh, I can't remember, but like the free daycare or affordable daycare, they wanted to put things like that in there, free college, things like that. And Republicans are like, no, we don't like free stuff, only for the rich. Free stuff is for the rich. Poor people are too poor for free stuff. Free stuff only goes to the rich. What's wrong with you, Democrats? Anyway, I love how Democrats continue to work to find the way, right? Like they're never defeated. That was important. That was something that Democrats run on, something that Biden run on to ease the load from women and help them into the workforce. That was why he was trying to offer affordable health care so that women can ease back into the workforce, because that, affordable childcare is something that keeps women out of the workforce. It's like they have to juggle. Like, does it make sense for me to work and pay for daycare that's going to cost me $400 a week? My transportation is going to cost me $200 a month. Like, I might as well stay home if I'm not making a lot of money. So, Chips and Science Act, the CHIP bill? Chip and Science bill, whatever it's called. So we're going to be manufacturing chips here in the United States. But in order for these semiconductor companies to apply for these federal grants, right, to open up the manufacturing companies, they have to offer affordable daycare. This is how Biden's like, checkmate, right? You guys want to fight me on this over here? Now, if you want federal money, semiconductor companies, to open manufacturing facilities to manufacture these chips, you are required to have affordable health care. Affordable childcare on site or somewhere for your employees, for your staff. That's genius. It's genius. So that all these jobs that are opening up from this chip bill, women are going to be able to get some of these jobs. So that's genius. This is Democrats working for the people. Meanwhile, Republicans are doing what? I don't know. They've been so busy with stunts and shows, they haven't even gotten to Hunter Biden's laptop. They so busy like trying to separate red states from blue states, giving Tucker Carlson J6 video footage. Like, they just busy being some real insurrectionists out here in these streets that they forgot about Hunter Biden's laptop. And Hunter's like, okay, cool. Like, what's really going on here? Stuff is crazy. I know, Michelle, right? It makes perfect sense. Affordable childcare. How hard is this? A lot of companies, especially these big companies, there's no reason why you shouldn't be offering this. It's a win-win. You can't lose offering it. Ugh. All right, last story. I think it's the last story. Let's move on. I did have quotes. I think I lost the quotes. So I don't have quotes. I'm sorry, I'm by myself. I'm going to keep blaming it on me just being by myself. So let's talk about that story that came out in the New York Times. If you were able to read it, they have that paywall up, so you really can't read. You got to Google it and find CNN or something like that, because they reported on the New York Times. So a story broke about a Nebraska slaughterhouse was employing migrant children. Yeah, the slaughterhouse. Right. And this thing has morphed into something big. So we always knew that America was good for having underage children do these awful, brutal jobs. And it started coming out around 2016, and it just kind of disappeared until this story came out. And it's interesting because in this story, in this Nebraska slaughterhouse, there had been reports of these children working in the slaughterhouse for years. Teachers were reporting that kids were coming to school, falling asleep because they were in school during the day and working all night long. One girl they thought was being abused by the family, but come to find out is the chemicals were giving her chemical burns. These children are working jobs that are dangerous for adults. And like I said, this child labor thing has so many legs to it, and it's just going in so many directions, because the more you pull at the strings, the more you find out. They found out that there's some underground smuggling thing going on with the Venezuelan children, because the kids are not here illegally. They are here legally. They have paperwork, but it's been so it would be a 14-year-old who has an ID that says the kid is 32. So it's the companies that are hiring them are turning their backs on it. It's almost oh yeah, you got paperwork. Oh yeah, you're 6 feet tall and you're 32 years old. Yep, that's you. That's the thing that's going on. And then there's another thing where they were saying that there were a bunch of migrant children who have been sent to live with their sponsors, and the sponsors are exploiting them and making them work these tough jobs to pay their room and board. So these kids are just being exploited left and right. They are getting hurt. They are losing actual limbs. They are literally falling off of roofs. A 7th teacher has been arrested for child abuse in an ongoing case. It's just really, the plant story is really sad. But here's where these things are intersecting, right? Because I was thinking there's a lot about child labor going on. And is this really a coincidence that Iowa is trying to lessen the restrictions on the child labor laws? Is that a coincidence right now? They're literally trying to expand the type of permissible work that children can do. This is in Iowa. They're trying to shield employees from lawsuits and liability if the children get hurt at the companies. This is happening in Iowa. It's happening in a couple of other states. And this is not happening in a vacuum, right? There's not, all of a sudden we see all these children are working these crazy jobs. And then all of a sudden you have these Republican states that are out here saying, hey, we want to go on and lessen our child labor laws here. That's not a coincidence, right? Like they were saying and reporting that there's some type of secret smuggling thing going on, and that these kids, once they're smuggled into America, they know the jobs that they're going to get. They know where they're going to go. They are given paperwork. So now you have Republican states out here trying to lessen these laws so that, these kids can work there, and that the employees, again, working for the companies, so that the employers are not liable for any mishaps. That's and then again, in Iowa is saying, well, we need more kids to work these jobs because, we lost a whole workforce. You're damn right you lost a whole workforce because y'all were out here telling people that COVID didn't exist. Of course you did. You were telling them, don't wear your mask. You were telling them that the vaccine was a bad thing. So of course you lost your workforce because you killed them. So now you're here because you lost your workforce. You're like, you know what? Here's how we solve this problem. We let kids work. We're going to replace the workforce with children. After we've killed all the adults, we're going to have children work there. And then not only are we going to have children work there, we're going to have the employer not be liable for if the kid loses their legs or a limb. We're not liable. Oh, no. Well, who is then? This is like really unbelievable, and it's unsettling because on top of that, they're trying to have 10-year-olds, make 10-year-olds have babies. So what the fuck are they doing to our kids right now? Like, you really got to ask yourself. It's like, we're going to make kids have babies. We're going to send them to work. Like, you just want them to go on and have babies and make families so you can have a whole nother labor force. It's insanity. Anyone voting for these pigs is something's wrong with you. There's no way that you can say Democrats are killing babies, abortions are killing babies. How can you say that when you are literally making laws to put children in slaughterhouses, chemical factories? How is this a thing? Sometimes I don't understand it. It's just what can you even come out of your mouth with this nonsense? It's so unbelievable, but it is so happening. It is happening. And that's really what it feels like. They really want a workforce, and they're okay with children working these jobs. They're okay with it. They're okay with children having babies. They're okay with it, but they're supposed to care about your families that much. I mean, come on, man. They didn't even care about the elderly. They laughed at Nancy Pelosi when he got hit with it. Nancy Pelosi's husband when he got hit on the head with a hammer. Like, they don't care. Life means nothing to these people. It's absolutely nothing. They're out here having what the CPAC event is happening right now. The big Republican, Palooza, whatever. Guess what? I guarantee you can't take guns in the CPAC event. Guarantee you. I guarantee you that. But they want us, everywhere we go, for there to be a gun. Because the Second Amendment, But where they're gathered and their family is gathered, they don't want it. It's very telling. It's very telling, everyone. I think that is all that I have. Just look at my sloppy notes. Anything else you guys know about? Did you hear anything? Anything else you want to talk about? I think I covered just about everything. I mean, Rupert Murdoch testified. He spilled the beans. Rupert Murdoch owns Fox over there. He had he testified and threw everybody under the bus, beginning with Lou Dobbs. He was telling everybody knew about the big lie. Yes, they all know. Yeah. Why'd you do it? It's not about the red. It's not about the blue. It's about the green. So basically he's saying it didn't matter. He just wants to get paid. Who cares about what? It's the money. It's the money, stupid, right? They all knew. They all ran around the Tucker Carlson and the Sean Hannitys and the Laura Ingrams. They all knew. But what? It's the stock. It's their ratings. They sacrifice us all, Republicans included. Because if y'all think that they care about you, don't care about you either. That's why all those insurrections going to jail right now. Who cares? All they're gonna do is what they do: get on the House floor, give the insurrectionists a little nod and a wink, and that's it. Are they putting any money on your books in the prison? I don't think so. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene putting money on your books? I don't think. Is she going to visit you on visiting hours and visit the days you can visit in prison? Is Marjorie going up there? Is Boebert going up there to visit y'all in prison? Is that happening? I don't know. Let me know. Is Kevin McCarthy doing that? Is the Republican Party putting money on y'all's books after y'all went and had a whole insurrection for them? They going after y'all? Nope, but they sure Dan Goldman will give y'all a shout out on the House floor. They sure will. They will blame it on Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They'll do that all day long, but they definitely ain't hauling their asses down to that prison to put any money on your books. Because why? They don't care. They used you. That's what they do. Anyway, everyone. It sure ain't. Thank you guys for coming. I don't have anything else to talk about. I think we talked about canceling the Democratic Party. We talked about how DeSantis is trash. What else? I think we have everything. We talked about the CHIPS Act. Shout out to Dwayne Wade and his trans daughter. She got to change her name legally. Just shout out to Dwayne Wade for being a great dad. That's really amazing because, a lot of men, especially Black men, because Black men really grew up with some stuff with them. So a Black man, an athlete, really supporting his trans daughter like that is something that should be applauded. I'm pretty amazed with that. So I think that I am finished, everyone. I'm done. I didn't go off topic for too long now, did I? So hopefully Anna will be with us next week. She may not, because I think she may have a work event. So it may just be me again. If so, I'll see you guys again next week. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. I appreciate y'all rocking with me through this whole time. Next week, I swear I will try to pay more attention and have some quotes for us. New York City Mayor Eric Adams' controversial comment about guns and prayer in schools. Oh, no. What did he say, Artie? What did he say? See, come on, Mayor Adams. What's wrong with you? What did he say? Please. I know we're on delay. I'm going to wait for you to tell me what he said. Thank you, Michelle. What did Mayor Adams say? Thank you, Walter. I'm waiting for Artie to tell me what Mayor Adams said. Mayor Adams is not going to get reelected. Interfaith breakfast in Manhattan that when the U.S. took prayer out of public schools, guns replaced them. Was he saying that in a positive way, or was he saying that in a bad way? Or is that just a good quote? Because that's a good quote, because guns did replace them. So that's not a bad thing, right? He's saying it as in that's really bad that guns replaced them. And he's right. Guns did replace them. Wait, he's buying guns for all the children. What y'all saying? Okay, so I'm confused. I'm going to look up what Mayor Eric Adams said on Tuesday about guns and schools, because that's concerning if he's talking about buying guns for children. That's a mess. Anyway, everyone, I will see you later. Thank you for coming and have a good weekend. Tomorrow's Friday too. Enjoy. Bye-bye, everyone. Oh, he meant that prayer should return to schools. Ugh. I don't want prayers in school, and I don't want guns in school. I think prayers, if a kid wants to pray in school, I think that they should pray. I think that if a Muslim wants to have their prayer rug and have time to pray, I think that should be a thing. I think any kid should be able to pray if they want to pray. I don't believe that schools should make children pray, because what if their parents don't believe in God? I mean, that's a thing. Some parents don't believe in God. Some people just don't believe in God, or some people just don't want their kids to pray in school. They want them to pray at home or in church. So I don't think it's always crossing the line for me. You know what I mean? That's why we have such a problem with the government right now. They want to make everyone fit into it's this Christian way. Like you can't make all of the people, like, it's politics. A politician should not be able to make you be a Christian or live a Christian life. That is up to you. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, it just, even if you believe in God, like, or if you don't, like, if you're doing Christian things but you don't believe in it, how it doesn't help anything. Like, it just doesn't. And half of these politicians aren't even Christians anyway. They're not even going to church. Marco Rubio goes to church on Easter, if that. And we know Ted Cruz isn't going to church on those Sundays, because we see him in the morning on Fox News doing his round on TV. So he ain't going to church either. Like, it's just so nonsense. It's such nonsense. I don't know. Everyone, a good night.